Kelly, you've got some explaining to do. Why didn't you come to the class reunion yesterday? Do you have any idea how much I've been looking forward to seeing you all of these years?
Believe me, I have an idea. I, however, have no interest in seeing you at all. In fact, considering the fact that you're an evil, backstabbing, conniving little witch, I'd rather never see your face again if I can avoid it. Why do you think I didn't come to the reunion? It was to avoid having to deal with you.
Are you serious? Is that any way to talk to your best friend in the whole wide world?
Best friend? You? You've got to be kidding me. You stole my boyfriend from me, June. You aren't my friend at all, much less my best friend. I promise you, June, I will never forget that for as long as I live.
Oh, come on, really? You're still mad over a tiny little thing like that? Grow up! You're such a spoiled little brat, Kelly. Just like you were back in high school.
Oh, I'm the spoiled brat, am I?
Okay, so sure. Back in high school, I stole your boyfriend from you, but that was high school. It's been 10 years since we graduated, Kelly. I'm surprised you even remember that happening. It was all ancient history. Don't you think it's time you moved on? Let bygones be bygones?
Okay, let's say for the sake of this discussion that I did forgive you for that, which I never will. That still leaves a laundry list of the other cruel things you did to me back then. I'm not gonna let you sit over there and pretend you've forgotten all about that.
Huh? Wait, I did other stuff to you? Like what?
You weren't content with just stealing my boyfriend in high school. You followed me around during my college years too, and every time I started talking to a guy, you would jump in between us and sleep with him. I never had a chance to have an ordinary relationship in college thanks to you. And then, after I graduated, found a job, and thought I was rid of you, I met this guy at work who I had great chemistry with, and what did you do? You went out of your way to apply to my company through a temp agency. Then, the next day, after you started working, you posted a picture on your Instagram account of you and him in bed together.
I remember that now. His name was Julian, right? All I did was invite him out for a drink once, and he immediately took me back to his apartment.
So, yeah, I don't want to have anything to do with you again. I told you as much back then. What makes you think I'd have changed my mind by now? I turned down the invitation to the reunion the instant I heard you were coming.
Yeah, I was kind of a wild child back then, huh? Sorry. But hey, it wasn't all easy. I had some pretty rough times too. Imagine how I felt being betrayed by my own best friend. After you did that, I couldn't help but get back at you. Childish, I know, but I was in high school.
What are you talking about? I never betrayed you, not even once.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you think you're some kind of perfect little angel who's never done anything wrong in your life, but I will never forget what you did to me. I had a massive crush on the same boy ever since we were in daycare together. And then, once we got into high school, I finally had the courage to tell him how I felt and asked him to be my boyfriend, but he said no. And why was that? Because he had a crush on you.
What?
How do you think it felt to have my first love crushed by my own best friend? I went into a spiraling depression. I didn't eat anything for days. That's why I kept stealing your boyfriends away from you. That's why I took every chance to stop you from getting with the guys you liked. I had to. It was the only thing that would ease my pain.
Is this some kind of joke? You're saying you did all of this out of jealousy? You were jealous that the boy you had a crush on liked me more than you, so you followed me around for the next 10 years?
Yeah, and I said I was sorry. What else did you want from me? I'm older now. I'm a different person. I really regret doing all of that stuff. Well, some of it. And most importantly, drum roll please, I'm getting married.
What? You are?
I wanted to tell you in person at the class reunion, but you didn't come. That, and apologize properly for what I did to you when we were younger.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I really don't care about you getting married.
Huh?
I appreciate you wanting to apologize, and I'm glad that you say you've changed, but none of that changes anything for me. I still don't forgive you, and honestly, I doubt I ever will. So, congratulations on your wedding, June. I hope you find happiness.
I went out of my way to text you about my good news, and this is the reaction I get? Well, you might say you're not interested now, but I think that'll all change soon. Once I tell you a bit more about what I've been up to since we last met, you'll be dying to know more.
Why are you talking so cryptically?
Why spoil it now? I think I'll let it be a surprise. I cannot wait to see your reaction when you find out.
Hey, Harry, I'm sorry to bother you at work. This might seem a little sudden, but there's something really important I need to ask you about. Has there been an odd woman showing up around you lately?
No, not that I can think of. It's kind of a weird question. Can I ask what brought that on?
Well, it's a long story. There's this woman who's been practically stalking me for the last 10 years or so, and she's found me again. I just got concerned that maybe she was setting her sights on you next.
Huh? This still doesn't make any sense. What would this woman want with me?
Do you remember me telling you about an old friend of mine back in high school? She stole my boyfriend, the first boyfriend I ever had. And it wasn't just him. She put the moves on every single guy I was ever interested in for years. She texted me out of the blue just now.
Oh, yeah, I remember you talking about that weirdo chick. I thought vindictive psycho women like her only existed in movies, but I guess they really do exist in the real world, too. So that psycho messaged you today, huh? That is a bit suspicious.
It's really freaking me out, honestly. She told me she was getting married, and from the sounds of things, her fiancé is probably someone I know. She was talking really cryptically too, like she was hiding just enough of the details to make me nervous on purpose.
I see. You must have thought she'd gotten her hands on me then.
Well, you are my husband, and the only man in my life.
You don't have to worry about a thing, babe. You're the only woman in my life, and it's gonna stay that way until the very end. Plus, with work as busy as it is right now, I wouldn't even have enough free time to cheat on you.
Yeah, that is true. You've been staying over at the office lately a lot and everything. About how much longer do you think you're gonna be this busy, Harry?
I wish I knew it's gonna be like this for a while yet. One of the new recruits made the mistake of the century the other day.
Uh-oh.
He somehow managed to delete 3 months worth of data from the company's server. So now we've got to focus on getting that data all back before we can move any further. So yeah, I'm gonna be sleeping on the couch in my office for at least the next few weeks.
Wow, I'm sorry about that, Harry.
You don't have to be sorry about anything. I'm the one that should be sorry. Since I'm stuck over here, we can't work on getting ready for the wedding. We can barely even spend time together. But look on the bright side, since you know I'm holed up in my office staring at a computer screen all night, you can rest assured that I'm not sleeping with your psycho stalker.
That's not much of a bright side, but I'll take it. But just be careful, okay? Just because she hasn't contacted you yet doesn't mean that she won't. I'm probably thinking too much into it, but I just have a really bad feeling, you understand?
I totally understand, honey. I'll be sure to message you whenever I have the time. That should help to reassure you, right?
Thank you so much, Harry. Okay, well, I'll let you get back to work now. Go ahead and call me if you want a fresh cooked meal, okay? I'll bring it right over to your office.
So, tell me, Kelly, were you surprised? How did it make you feel when you saw my wedding invitation?
Well, yeah, I was definitely surprised. I didn't actually expect you to send me an invitation. I thought I offended you too much when I told you I wasn't interested.
That's not what I'm talking about, dummy. Don't tell me you didn't even open up the envelope.
Okay, I won't tell you.
Oh my god! You really didn't open it? Good grief. It's a wedding invitation. You don't just toss those on the counter and leave them there.
I already told you I didn't want to come. Why should I bother opening it? Put me down as not attending.
You're totally missing the points, Kelly. Go pick up the envelope and open it right now. And make sure you look very closely at the name of the groom. I think it might be somewhat of a familiar name to you, seeing as though it's your fiancé.
My fiancé?
Yep. Didn't I tell you? You must be really surprised right now. Oh, and just so you don't get any funny ideas, it's not a mere coincidence. And it's not that I just so happen to get engaged to someone who has the same first and last name as your fiancé. I'm engaged to your fiancé. Or should I say, ex-fiancé.
What's going on here, June? You're engaged to my fiancé? What?
It's quite simple, Kelly. A man that was briefly yours is now mine. I'm so sorry for stealing yet another man away from you, Kelly. But don't worry, this will be the last time, I swear.
This is unbelievable.
I'm not getting any younger, so I thought it would be a great time for me to lock in a good man for myself. But good grief, you would not believe how awful the dating scene is these days. I got tired of going to clubs and bars every night. Then, one day, I heard that you had finally snagged yourself a piece of happiness. I just couldn't let that happen. Not on my watch. So right then and there, I decided that I was going to steal your fiancé away from you and make my revenge complete.
It's one thing to hit on my boyfriends, but my fiancé? That's a whole new level of wicked.
Right? I was worried it was going to be a lot harder than all of the other times, but I couldn't believe how quickly he decided to just toss you aside. It was like taking candy from a baby. I had barely even met the guy, and he was already chomping at the bit to get with me. And it wasn't but a few dates after until he popped the question.
Okay. No, I don't believe you. There is no way at all that my boyfriend asked you to marry him. I get what's going on here. You heard I was getting married and who I was getting married to, but your usual tactics didn't work on him. So now you're making this all up in an attempt to make me suspicious of him. Well, it's not going to work. I trust him.
Believe it or not, it's the truth. And you're going to have to come to terms with it eventually, sweetie pie. I mean, you saw the invitation, right? There it is, black and white, clear as crystal. Your fiancé's name next to mine. Your fiancé proposed to me, and now he's my fiancé. He's breaking up with you to be with me. You have once again lost your man to me. I win, Kelly. You lose. Game over.
Well, that certainly is a convincing story. You're missing one very important detail, however. I'm already married, and we have a child together.
Huh?
So, no, there is no possible way that you could be getting married to him. Not to mention, you must have heard wrong, because the name on this invitation is not my husband's name. What are you even going on about, June? Are you drunk or something?
What? Hold on. This doesn't make any sense. What do you mean that's not your husband's name?
I mean just what I said. That's not my husband's name. Where did you get your information from anyway? They told you I was engaged, not married. We've been married for a while now. Plus, like I said, we already have a child together who's almost a year old now.
You have a kid? I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah, we kind of did what they used to call a shotgun wedding. I found out I was pregnant one day, so we went and eloped the very same day. The baby was born healthy and strong, and we're currently living together just as happy as can be.
No! That can't be true! It can't be! It's impossible! That is completely different from what I was told about you! I heard that you were still just engaged! I didn't know that you were married! Or had a kid!
I have no idea what sort of nonsense you heard about me, but if the rest of it is as accurate as that, then I can assure you it is all completely wrong. I'm not engaged to be married, I am married. I don't have a fiancé, I have a husband and a child. Also, the name on the invitation you sent me doesn't get my husband's first or last name correct, so you're 0 for 3.
This can't be happening. I'm so confused. You mean my fiancé isn't your boyfriend? But that doesn't make any sense. I got my information from a very reliable source.
Yeah? Then let's hear it, June. Where in the world did you get this, incorrect by the way, information about me and my husband? Who told you that I was engaged to whoever this guy is? Who is your very reliable source?
You're my source, Kelly. You are. I got all this information firsthand straight from you. So there's no possible way I could be wrong about any of this. I went to your house, in person.
What the? You went to my house? Are you serious?
Yeah, and I saw your fiancé walking out of your house. He got into his car and drove off, but I managed to follow him all the way back to the place where he works. So I know for a fact that I'm right. My fiancé is your boyfriend. He has to be. I'm 100% sure of it.
Wait a minute. You're saying you saw a guy with the same name going out of my house, but that's... Oh, wait a second. Now that I think about it, I may have actually seen this name somewhere before.
You have?
It's right on the tip of my tongue. Where do I know him from? I got it. I remember now. That's the name of one of the new recruits at my husband's company.
Wait, what?
Yep, I'm 100% sure of it. That's definitely who this is. My husband talks about this guy to me all the time. Apparently, this guy is an absolute disaster area. He keeps making mistake after mistake after mistake that costs the company tons of time and money. And my husband is unfortunate enough to be the guy that always has to be there to clean up the messes that he makes. It's thanks to your fiancé that my husband's been practically living at his office for the last month. Since he'd only been causing more catastrophic damage if he were around the office doing his actual job, my husband sends him to our house to pick up clean clothes, meals, and that sort of thing. At least he seems to be self-conscious of his incompetence. The other day, he came by to pick up dinner for my husband, and he said, I guess if it doesn't work out for me at this company, I can always try being the Uber Eats driver.
You have got to be kidding me!
I bet it was at a time like that when you saw him coming out of my house, June. About a month or so ago, he was coming by the house just about every night to get something or another.
So, you mean I did get the wrong guy? He's really not your fiancé? I've been operating under the assumption that he was for all this time. That's the only reason I worked so hard to get him interested in me. I thought I was stealing him away from you.
And good grief. Am I glad you screwed that up so badly? I've been terrified ever since you started texting me a month ago that you were gonna steal yet another important person away from me.
This sucks so hard. Come on. I can't believe this. How could I mess up so badly? I thought for sure I was going to see you have a complete emotional breakdown. I thought I was going to break you so hard you'd be thrown into a mental asylum. But now I found out I got the wrong guy. God damn it! And the worst part is, we already got married. We eloped at the county courthouse just the other day.
What? You already got married to him? This is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. You got married to a guy under completely false pretenses.
This is the worst! I'm so pissed off right now. I waited years for this moment, and now it's ruined.
Hey, getting mad at me isn't going to solve anything. And hey, it's not all bad, is it? So what, you got the wrong guy? You still got a guy, didn't you? You got married. Congratulations, June. For 10 years, you've been living with a broken heart from your first love turning you down. But now, you've got a man who's promising to love you forever.
I can't do that!
Think about it. You might have been under the wrong impression, but he still chose you. He loves you for who you are. You should be thrilled. I'd say the best thing for you to do would be to turn over a new leaf and live out the rest of your days as his loving wife.
I I don't need or want any advice from you, Kelly, so you can skip the stupid lectures. But as much as I hate to admit it, you kind of have a point. It really does suck that he wasn't your fiancé, and that is a major buzzkill. But he still works at the same company as your husband does, and that's one of the most powerful IT firms in the state. I guess I can just be satisfied in the fact that I landed myself a man with job security and a rapidly growing industry.
Huh?
Maybe this arrangement won't be so bad after all. The one thing that really kills me is the fact that my husband is your husband's subordinate. But I think I can manage to live with that now. With a high-value woman like me at his side, I think I can give him the push he needs to be better and further his career. Who knows? Maybe if I push him hard enough, he'll be your husband's boss someday. That's it. That's going to be my new motivation in life. I still have a shot to get my revenge on you, Kelly, and this time I won't mess it up.
June, your husband doesn't work for the company anymore. He resigned. Uh-oh. Does that mean that your fiancé withheld a really important piece of information for when you got married?
He resigned?
It's like I was telling you earlier, June. Your husband was making a ton of mistakes, and not just minor ones. Big mistakes. The kind of mistakes that affect a company's bottom line. That's what made my husband turn his office into an Airbnb. What's worse is that your husband recently made his biggest mistake yet, like the mother of all mistakes. As patient as my husband is, this one was just too much for him to handle. In one final act of mercy, my husband encouraged your husband to resign from the company immediately, rather than wait until the end of the tribunal that would inevitably result in him getting fired for cause.
No, I don't believe it. He never told me about any of that. He lied to me?
Sounds like you and your husband need to sit down and have a little heart-to-heart talk then. Now, you both have something important to confess to each other. You dated him under the assumption that you were stealing him from me, and he married you while hiding the fact that he quit his job. I'm sure the two of you can find some way to come to an understanding. And with that, I'll be taking my leave for the night. Remember, I will not be attending your wedding, so please don't prepare a seat at the reception for me.
Well, this is just great. You were right. He really did quit his job. How could he lie to me like that? What a scumbag. Oh, but he said he was keeping it a secret so that I wouldn't worry about him. Ha, yeah, right. What a loser.
I understand how it feels, honestly. If I were just about to get married, I wouldn't want my fiancé to know that I had quit my job either.
Stop trying to console me. It's not helping. Not only did I fail at stealing your fiancé from you, I didn't even get the consolation prize of getting married to a guy working for a decent company. He resigned 2 weeks before our wedding, too. Who does that?
Don't worry, June. Everything's gonna be fine. If he had the kind of resume that would get him into my husband's company, I'm sure he'll be able to find a good job elsewhere. You just need to be patient with him. Give him some time.
Oh yeah, right. I'll wait for him to get another job, just for him to lose it again.
Huh? What do you mean, June?
It turns out he's been working his butt off in secret to find a new job before I realized what was going on. He actually managed to land a new job after just a week of job hunting, so everything's fine, right? Wrong. He made so many mistakes in his first 3 days on the job that they fired him already. 3 days? How do you mess up so bad that they don't even want to give you a whole week?
Yikes. That's really too bad, June. Harry had always told me that your husband was a disaster waiting to happen, but that's insane. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone getting fired that quickly. It's a big waste of time and money for the company, too. In most cases, they just keep you on until they got a replacement for you.
It's like he's trying to make all those mistakes. Oh, and another thing, he also happens to have the worst luck in the world. He left confidential company documents on the bus on his way to work. He realized it right away though, and when he got back on the bus to get his bag, Someone already stole it.
Oof, that's gotta hurt.
Then the next day, he borrowed a company car to go visit a client. He stopped by a convenience store on the way back to get a snack, and guess what happened while he was inside? Someone smashed all his windows and stole his bag, which contained confidential company documents again. His company fired him on the spot as soon as he got back. They're even demanding that he pay for the cost of the repairing of the car's windows.
Holy cow. I'm starting to feel bad for the poor guy. This is awful luck.
I thought I was gonna be on the fast track to the sweet life with him. I had resigned myself to being married to him and thought I would just have to try and make the best of it. I even came up with a brand new way of getting my revenge against you. But now, what am I gonna do? Why did I have to go and marry the wrong guy? Why couldn't it have been your husband coming out of your house that day? I wouldn't have cared. I still would have tried to steal him from you. I probably would have made it feel even better.
Oh, yeah. I have no doubt that you'd have no qualms with trying to start an affair with a married father. So, I guess this can only mean that your current situation is divine punishment for being such an evil person.
I'm not evil.
You are, but don't let that hold you back. After all, your husband needs the loving support of his wife to propel his career forward. If you can do that, I'm sure you'll still find happiness in life.
Screw that! How am I supposed to be happy living with a guy who makes mistakes as often as he breathes?
You'll have to come up with an answer to that for yourself. Oops, my kid's crying. Gotta go. Enjoy your newlywed life with your darling husband, June. June's husband got right back to looking for a new job, and he found another one in short order, from which he was then fired in short order. As a result, June was left with no choice but to become the family's breadwinner herself, and her husband decided to give up working altogether and become a full-time housewife, or house husband. Is that a thing? In any case, it's definitely not a thing for him. He burns the food when he cooks, burns the shirts when he's ironing them, and burns through their limited finances with his awful spending habits. So, yeah, they're having quite the eventful newlywed life. It seems like June must be pretty busy because she hasn't sent me a single message ever since. I heard that she's too busy to make next year's class reunion, so it looks like I'll be able to go to this one this time.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
The invitation for my wedding should have arrived by now, correct? Please make sure to say no to the RSPV, please. We don't need you coming to my wedding after all.
What? Even though you guys went through all the effort of sending me this invitation?
That was only sent to you because I had no choice. At the most recent class reunion, I told everyone that I was getting married, right? And at the time, I said that I'd be inviting everyone from my class. Well, I went ahead and did all of that before I realized that you were in my class as well.
But everyone else says that they're going, so why do I have to be the one to stay away?
Because we don't need some ugly-looking emo like yourself bringing down the vibes of my wedding. If you were to actually come, the whole atmosphere would become cold and people would want to leave. So please, just like with the graduation ceremony years ago, read the air and stay away.
What?
I never thought that you would actually show up to this ceremony after everything, so I was laughing my butt off watching you walk across the stage. I'm sure you felt the same way as everyone else did when you brought down everyone's feelings that day, right? That's why everyone started to whisper for you to go home over and over as you stepped off the stage. But you actually did leave right after you grabbed your diploma, which none of us actually saw coming.
I remember what was going on that day myself. I was wondering then why everyone kept telling me to go home like that, and it made me feel very sad and unwanted. All of my friends were telling me not to worry about what you were saying, but I couldn't hold myself together and started to cry before I went home.
I know that was back in high school, And things have changed by a lot now. But ugly people like you stay ugly. Oh. No matter how much makeup you lap on yourself, you will never be able to get rid of that dark and ugly character you have. And to think that right now, after so many years have gone by, you're still working at base level job? The gas station, was it? I suppose that's the perfect job for you ugly emos then, huh?
Huh? I never really told you about what job I have currently, did I?
Well, I've heard from other people what you're doing. And what they've said is that you're too old now to still be working at a gas station. Oh, there's no way I'm going to let such a low life as yourself come to my wedding of all things. This is the wedding for a high school beauty contest winner who also happened to be the most popular woman in school after all.
I may not have changed much, but neither of you really, Georgia. You were always belittling people like that, so I guess none of us have really changed much, have we?
Oh, sorry, hold on there. I'm not making fun of you right now because I want to. You've just chosen to continue living life below me as an ugly emo this whole time, Oakley. Now please make sure to say no to that invitation for me. I'll let everyone know on the day of that you ended up having to work a shift on the gas station that day, and that's why you couldn't make it. Oh.
Miss Oakley, are you really not able to make it to my daughter's wedding that's coming up really soon? You made sure to take the day off that day, right?
Actually, there were some other things that showed up on that date. That's why I'm not going to be able to attend that day.
Oh, is that right? Is there no way you can say that you have an important wedding to go that day and maybe postpone some of the other things? It's going to be my daughter's wedding of all things, and I'd really like a person as important as you to be there.
What?
Georgia has already told me that she went and invited everyone from her class back in high school. I think the more people she has from back then coming to see her wedding, the more happy she'll be and the better memories she'll make. So could you please find some way to go to the wedding that day? I'm sure you don't want to keep listening to her mom go on and on about having you come to her wedding. But I'd really love for this wedding to go perfectly for her, and you would be able to make that possible.
You really are such a kind woman, Catherine. But you really don't have to be too worried about this. Even if the both of us were in the same graduating class together, her and I weren't all that close back in the day. I don't think it will bother her at all if I don't make it to the wedding.
Please, don't think something like that, Miss Oakley. There is also my husband and myself, right? Him and I are always talking about how so much you've done for us, so we'd really love for you to be there on our behalf. So, would you please?
I never thought I'd be asked this many times by you to be at your daughter's wedding of all things. You've always been a key member of the team for so long now, so it's a bit difficult for me to say no when you've asked so many times.
It should be. It should be. You have been working so much lately that you should take the day off to come and see my daughter get married. And if it's really going to be difficult for you to change plans around, then at least make around 10 minutes to just pop your head in. I would really like for as many people as possible to come and see my baby girl in her wedding dress.
Well, if that's all right by you, then I suppose I can come and pop my head in real quick. Then I'll be able to say to the groom and introduce myself and be off. If that's all right with you, then that'll be the plan I make.
That would be completely fine with me. Oh, I never thought that at my daughter's own wedding, she'd be able to have you as a guest and finally be able to see the important side of one of her old high school friends. Oh, anyways, I'll be waiting for you on the day of her wedding then.
Why the hell have you come here, you ugly emo? I never asked for you to be at my wedding. Get the hell out of here, you low-life loser.
I shouldn't even have to be told to leave, as you can already see me leaving now. Also, what you just did was horrible. You came up behind me and pushed me right into the shallow pool that's at the front of the wedding hall.
tell me how that was horrible of me. I was just making sure that my wedding is well defined, is all.
Huh? That was you defending your wedding?
You came all the way out here with the intent of ruining my wedding, so I had to act before any of that could actually happen. The moment I found out where the terrorist was, I thought about what I could do to send them away and act. This is what normally happens to people like you, right?
Who are you calling a terrorist? What do you mean I came here to ruin your wedding as well? Why would I ever come here with the goal of doing that to you?
Stop trying to talk your way out of what you plan to do now, you terrorist! I told you well before today not to come to my wedding, right? And you still came walking right in like that warning was never given to you. I know you're only here for one reason, and that's to get in the way of my perfect day.
What?
I'm sure I hurt your feelings by making fun of the fact that you work at a gas station, right? That's why, with all that pent-up anger you have for me now, you've come here to ruin the most important day of my life. That's something I can definitely see an emo like you doing.
I told you that's not why I'm here, Georgia. I came here just to pop my head in and say hi. I get that you really, really hate me for many, many reasons. So to try and keep us from getting into any fights, I was just coming for a few minutes with the plan of going right back home.
Huh? Are you trying to piss me off now by saying that you, a lowlife, came all the way here with the intent of saying hi before going back home? I never said that I needed an ugly emo like yourself here saying hi to any of my guests. You're literally nothing compared to me, you loser. Yet you came here thinking it'd be alright even if it were for a couple of minutes? I'm not sure how much more of a presumptuous action I can handle. Oh.
Presumptuous? I was not doing anything cheeky by coming here for a few minutes. I understand that for a very long time now you have hated me, all right? But you can't continue to act like a child by attacking me when you are old enough to be put in jail for things like that.
Oh, is the gas station employee who's in her late 20s now going to start preaching to me about what's right and what's wrong? Oh, someone like me who's getting married to a man who works as an elite for a massive company? Someone like me who's going to live the rest of their life as a housewife in the penthouse in one of the tallest buildings in this city has ever seen? Don't make me pee myself by trying to act all smart, you low-life part-timer.
So you really are just going to continue with the belittlement until the day you die, huh? I can really tell now that no matter what I try and say to you, you'll never listen to me.
Oh, so you finally come around to realizing that someone like me can't ever understand the crazed thoughts of a lowlife? Well, now that you've realized your loss, go ahead and leave this place in your completely drenched dress. My wedding is starting really soon here, so I want you gone before that happens.
I'm going home, all right? You don't have to keep telling me to. But before I go outside, can you at least give me a towel or something? I won't even be able to ride in a taxi with how wet I am right now.
Oh, wow. Just what I expected from a lowlife. You're like a homeless beggar asking me for a towel right now so that you can dry yourself off.
Huh?
I know what this is all about now. You came to my wedding today to try and get to all the really delicious food I'll have prepared for everyone today, right? You must only ever get to eat all the day-old stale food that comes out of the gas station, right? So, you thought that today you'd be able to come sneak into my wedding looking to grab yourself a bite or two of this really delicious food.
What?
But I'm really sorry, Oakley. There's no amount of food here that I'd be willing to serve to a low-life beggar such as yourself. So, would you please give up now and leave already?
Would you frickin' stop it with all this belittlement, please? Can't you see how far you've gone now, calling me a homeless beggar and all that, on top of calling me a terrorist?
Huh? What's with that attitude? The one that came to my wedding after being told not to come was you. I won't have an ugly emo coming to my wedding. There's not a chair prepared for you here. Not for the wedding and not for the lunch.
Alright, I'm leaving then.
Hurry the hell up, loser. I told you from the very beginning not to come here. Yet this gas station working lowlife of an ugly emo came all the way out here causing me trouble. A massive loser like yourself needs to keep eating that crappy gas station food for the rest of your life.
Then your mother is going home as well.
What?
I actually quite enjoyed my job at the gas station and find the food here to be really nice. But I'm sorry, however, that your lowlife mother has caused you so much embarrassment.
My mother? Wait, what?
Everyone has different views, I know that. So, I'm not going to say anything to you about your views on who is a lowlife and who's working stupid jobs, even if I am your own mother. But there is one thing a mother like me can say, and that's that you're pushing someone into a shallow pool like that is unacceptable.
Wait a second. You're my mom? What? Is that really you, Mom? Why the hell would my mom be texting me through that loser's phone right now?
I couldn't watch what was going on anymore, so I went and took Miss Oakley's phone from her. I never ever thought that even my daughter could be vicious to someone else, as you've been to someone like her. I'm so embarrassed by you right now that I had to do something about this.
What?
You've really shown me your true side, Georgia. The side of you that would push someone as important as Miss Oakley into the water. When I saw that happen, I had no idea what to do or say because I had frozen up out of shock.
Wait a second, Mom. Why do you keep calling her Miss Oakley? Why are you being so polite to such a low-life scum as her? Who said she could be treated that way?
Well, she happens to be the owner of the company that runs the gas station I work for. I don't care that you have such feelings against her and that you've carried all the way from high school. She's my boss and I will treat her as such. And that's the reason why I call her Miss Oakley instead of viewing her as your old classmate.
Huh? Your boss? Wait, Mom, you're working at a gas station right now? And you're telling me that Oakley's the owner of that gas station?
That's what I'm saying. I told you a while ago that I was going to start working again, right? All of my kids were finally out of the house, and I had nothing to do with all this time besides sit around and watch TV. I talked with your dad a little bit about it, and we agreed that I should get myself a part-time job, which is where I am right now.
I heard about all of that, but I never knew you were working at a gas station. I was thinking you worked for a supermarket or a cafe in the neighborhood. I was thinking that you of this whole time, but you've actually been working at a gas station?
I was thinking about working at a place like the local grocery store as well, but then your dad gave me some advice. He told me that working at places such as that, where everyone else around me is old, would require me to pick up slacks for all of them. He then recommended that I go somewhere lots of young people work, as the workload would be more even there.
So then you decided on working for a gas station?
A lot of the gas stations around our house looks for part-time workers all the time, but when I went to the one closest to the house, I never thought I'd be hearing about how the owner of the company was Miss Oakley. And as of right now, she's running around 12 different gas stations, so I have to really respect her for that, because she doesn't even hand off orders to people below her to run her gas stations. She will go to each and every one of them with all of the time, making sure the management is in shape, and that the rest of the employees are doing their jobs well.
What?
From what I've heard, she's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. But even with all that money she's making sure it doesn't all get to her by coming out to be with the people that makes her business happen. Because of that, I have a lot of fun working at the gas station and always feel as though even my voice is heard.
Huh?
At this particular gas station, there are a lot of high schoolers and college students working part-time.
There are also people that want to become actors working part-time here, and those that were down on their luck, but are trying to improve their lives now. I really enjoy talking to and working with all different kinds of people from all different backgrounds, as it makes the day go by and I learn plenty of new things. And considering I'm pretty far up in ages now, a lot of the youngsters there will teach me how to use new features on my smartphone and such.
Oh, you seem so happy about being there!
I get to meet all kinds of people from our part of the city as well that comes in to get snacks and drinks. I get to see little kids that I've never really gotten talking to with anymore, and some old friends that I haven't seen in so long. Being able to have so much social interaction with everyone makes this part of my life so enjoyable. But my own daughter is saying someone like myself is a low life because of where I work. There have always been people around making fun of that work part-times at base-level jobs. But the fact that I've now had to learn my own daughter is just like those narrow-minded people breaks my heart.
Hold on,
I'm going home as well now. I was expecting to cry and sob a lot today at my daughter's wedding as I watched her marry her love, and that's why I brought this little towel and handkerchief. But to think I'd have to be using them to dry my boss off at the front of the building. I'm going to take Miss Oakley home in my car now, so that she doesn't have to worry about getting a taxi.
What? You're actually going home? Hold on now, are you being serious right now?
Of course I'm serious. You were just being serious with my boss a little bit ago, right? That low-life gas station workers like her should get lost.
Oh, wait, Mom, that was... I might have gotten carried away. I didn't actually think that you'd take something like me saying to go home personally as well. Now, come on, Mom. You can stop joking about going home with her, alright? There's no way you'd let your daughter have a wedding without her mother around, right?
I sure haven't ever seen a wedding before where the mother was told to leave before it started. Then perhaps you'd better off just canceling the wedding so that something like that won't have to happen.
Huh.
And then you can have a talk with your fiancé Marcus about why the wedding was canceled.
Wait. There's no way this wedding is being canceled. All of our friends and family are here and ready to go now. And why are you even talking about Marcus right now, Mom?
Well, that's because he's standing right beside Miss Oakley and myself right now.
Marcus is?
When he saw me running over to see Miss Oakley, he wanted to see what was going on and came rushing over as well. He said to her, "Are you alright, Miss Oakley?" and things like that as he came up. He apparently saw what you did to her as well. So right now he has his jacket over Miss Oakley, trying to keep her warm so that she doesn't catch a cold or anything. I am so shocked that a kind and selfless man such as him thought it would be a good idea to marry you.
Wait a sec. Why is my fiancé calling her Miss Oakley as well?
How about you ask your fiancé about that? Now both my boss and I are going to be heading home. You go and choose whether you still want to have your wedding, or if you rather just cancel it and save yourself some of the embarrassment. I'm not going to help out with that choice, though.
Hey! There's no way, right? There's no way that my Marcus is working part-time at one of your gas station. That has to be some kind of messed up joke, right? You haven't hired my fiancé to work for you, right?
Right now, Marcus is working for another one of my gas stations on the other side of the city. Not only has he been working for me for a while now, but he's really enjoyed his job there and gets all the work he's asked to done in a very efficient manner. But I never thought that that man would end up being your fiancé of all people.
No way. So then everything he's been saying to me is true?
So you were just about to marry the guy, yet you had no idea what he was doing for work or anything?
I didn't have to know. I was believing everything he had told me. He told me he came from a really strong university and he was working for a massive company.
He even told me about how efficient he was with his work, making him the top employees with his place of work. He told me all of that, hence why I chose to get married to him. Yet, instead, it turns out he's really been working at a gas station this whole time. He never told me that a year ago, the company he was working for had got some layoffs and he was let go.
How about you calm down there, Georgia? Have you really not heard the rest of the story from him? The company may have laid him off, but that was only before it was bought out by an even better company. And that company has been asking him to go and work for them now that they see his potential. He has been in the works of going to their interviews, but in the meantime, he's been relaxing while working for me.
Who cares about all that? That doesn't change the fact that he was let go by the previous company and had to work for you at a gas station. He shouldn't have lied to me about working at a gas station, right?
I'm sure it wasn't right for him to hide that fact from you.
Who would want to marry a man like him? I'm done. I don't want him anymore. I'm canceling this wedding, and from here on out, I am no longer together.
What? So you're actually canceling the wedding?
Well, of course. I would never get married to this man that works part-time at a gas station, and my mom already went home as well. I don't want to have this wedding if I won't be able to brag to all my friends about the man I've married anymore. I'm canceling this marriage and this wedding right now.
I'm not really sure you should have been getting married so that you had something to brag about in the first place, but...
Shut up! Don't start to talk like that to me just because you make some decent money. Don't even try picking on me now just because my mom works for you.
I'm not trying to be rude to you, and I'm definitely not picking on you either. Georgia, the way you are now is really disappointing. No matter what anyone tries to say to you, you just go off the rails and start fighting everything. Oh, well, I guess if you want to keep throwing a fit like that, then please go right ahead and cancel that wedding. And make sure to tell your hard-working fiancé that things are off as well.
What the hell is that attitude?
And after all those invites you sent out to have the whole high school class here, the most popular woman from high school's wedding was today. I'm sure a lot of people were hoping to see something really amazing here, but now it's being canceled. And the mother of said popular woman ran back home. I really want to see how you're going to explain to everyone there why you're having that wedding canceled.
Yeah, you! Are you playing with me right now? I bet you're smiling and laughing right now watching me go through all this crap like I deserve it or something, right? I'll tell you right now that what's happening between you and I is going to stay a secret. You and I will keep this secret that I'm leaving my fiancé because he works at a gas station. Don't you ever tell a single person why this wedding is really over with.
What should I do here? You and I aren't that close to one another, so will I really keep such a tremendous promise with you?
What?
Now you have fun telling all the staff that the wedding is canceled. Good work today. I'm going to stop talking to you now. Georgia tried her best to tell everyone that her wedding was being canceled due to her mother having a bad fall and needing to go to the hospital. She then went and told her fiancé that things were off because he had lied to her about being laid off and having to come work for me at a gas station. He was pretty upset by what happened there, but he knew it was partially his fault for not telling her the truth when things happened. But just a few days later, he received a call from the company he was interviewing with, and they told him he had gotten the job. It turned out that the new company who had bought the company he was laid off from heard stories about his skills from all the employees they took on, and so they wanted him back and moved into the position of department manager. He was also given a raise due to all the troubles he had faced from being laid off during what one could call a corporate buyout of the last company. And that, to me, sounds like a great deal. When Georgia learned about how he got that new job within the massive new company, she ran back to him hoping they could get back together. But by that point, he was totally over her and said for her to get the hell away from him. This was also around the time a lot of the guests from Georgia's canceled wedding began to catch on to what the real reason was for the wedding being canceled. Now, Georgia has been trying to get a hold of her mom to say that she was sorry for what she'd done and all the lying. But to this day, her mom has still managed to ignore all those calls and texts.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, Let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.